Welcome to another edition of McReynolds Rundown. I'm Larry McReynolds, and we are now 2/3 of the way through the West Coast Swing, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So what's the thing I enjoyed the most about the Las Vegas race weekend? It's just once again, like we saw earlier in the season, the parity. You realize in 3 races, we have 25 different drivers that have a top 10 finish. No one driver is dominating these races right now. We had 23 lead changes Sunday by 15 different drivers. And the driver leading the most laps, he's not the driver going to victory lane. Ross Chastain led 83 laps in that one car, ended up finishing 3rd. And the thing I love the most, that 12th and final caution with 3 laps to go that set up strategy. The Hendrick cars, Larson, Byron, Bowman changes 2 tires. Everybody else changes 4, and Alex Bowman would not be denied of his very first win of 2022. The other thing I loved, we all know what's going on over in Ukraine right now. Hendrick Motorsports, Rick Hendrick, they made a commitment of $200,000. They added another $102,000 for the 51 laps they led on Sunday for a total contribution for the benefit of Ukraine, $302,000. Way to go, Rick. It just shows you another thing about NASCAR's commitment to helping other people. Well, here's another topic I'd like to address. Why did we see so many race cars spin out in the Cup race on their own on Sunday? You know, I think there's a lot of things that's going on right now. One, the drivers are trying to understand these cars. Everything is new, and the crew chiefs and the engineers, they're trying to understand what they need to be doing to the setup of these race cars. But I think we knew through all the testing during the offseason, these cars were not going to be easy to drive. If you compare it to last year's car, it has less downforce, it has less side force. In fact, we got with the old car where I don't think you could work and spin the car out. So I think this will only get better as the drivers and the crew chiefs and all learn a little bit more about what to do to these cars. But if you look at these last 2 tracks, Fontana, California, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, very rough tracks, very bumpy. They get a little aggressive with the setup, and you have no downforce to kind of hold the car, you're going to see cars spinning out. I'm anxious to see at Phoenix a track that doesn't have as much banking and more grip, exactly how they handle this coming weekend out in the desert. Well, we had a little situation in the Xfinity Series race on Saturday at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Ty Gibbs in the 54 car and Ryan Sieg in the 39 car. Now, I'll be the first to say that Ty Gibbs was maybe being a little aggressive very early in the race. I hated it for Ryan Sieg. This is a family-owned team. They just go from race to race doing all they can to try to be competitive. But I'll never fault anybody like Ty Gibbs for racing hard. That's what drivers are supposed to do. But what I do have a problem, and I always have, even when I was a crew chief, is a driver trying to retaliate with his own race car. That's what Ryan Sieg tried to do, and he came up on the losing end of the stick. I've always said to my driver, if you want to retaliate, if you want to go address this driver after the race, get out of that car, I'll go with you, but leave the race car out of it. And the biggest thing, Ryan Sieg didn't get Ty Gibbs back. He actually wrecked himself, which to me was a pretty embarrassing moment. Well, this is my favorite part of the McReynolds Rundown, a fan's question that was sent in. This week it comes from Nick Hamilton in Richmond, Virginia. Hey Larry, does NASCAR or Goodyear require teams to run a minimum air pressure in the tires for the next-gen car to prevent teams from blowing out tires? Nick, great question, great observation. Yeah, Goodyear gives the teams what they call a pressure sweep for each track we're going to. It shows you what the best performance of the tire will be at what air pressure and where you're maybe stepping into a durability issue. It's like 2 lines that intersect. Now for Las Vegas in the left side air pressure, Goodyear recommended no lower than 20 PSI in the left front, no lower than 22 PSI in the left rear. The lower you go in those left side air pressures, the more it helps the car to turn. So let's go back to practice on Saturday. Kyle Busch in the 18 car lost the left rear tire at lap 9. No doubt they were lower than 22 PSI. Goodyear only recommends, they don't mandate, so it's kind of on the team's shoulders to make sure they don't go too low on those air pressures to cause a tire from blowing out. Love these questions. Please be sure to use the hashtag McReynolds Rundown and tag NASCAR on Fox on Twitter. We're 1 race away from being done with the West Coast Swing, Phoenix, Arizona, so we'll see you next week on the McReynolds Rundown.
Hey race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.